Absolutamente. Quando per esplosione. Potete calmo il broadcast. Corrisponde, vedete? Guarda come devo rischiare che le uscire un po' d'ansia. Devo più cuidare. Cadi broadcast. Lemon, wow.
Situations. Hello, good morning. Welcome to the capability of the ENCASE research project. I would like to invite Dr. Michael Sylvianos to the opening remarks.
Good morning, everyone. We are representative of the Education and Capture, we are directors, we are guests. We're very glad to have you here tonight, today. And it's very, I think you will find it very interesting. It's 1 hour where we will present our plans for research on a very hot topic, and a very interesting topic, and a very crucial topic of the security and the privacy of minor users in the web, and particularly in online social networks. I would like now to invite on the podium the director of the Cyprus University of Technology to give us his opening remarks.
Good morning, everybody, dear partners, members of the organizing committee, dear guests and participants. It is a great pleasure to greet and cordially welcome you all to the kickoff meeting of ENCASE, Enhancing Security and Privacy in the Social Web, a user-centered approach for the protection of minors, which is funded by the European Union AMarie Skłodowska-Curie of the Horizon 2024. The Cyprus University of Technology acknowledges the importance of the ENCASE program and the innovative solution that it proposes in order to protect minors, which is a substantial need in today's internet era, and presents itself as a challenging, technological, societal, but also political issue in Europe and beyond. As mentioned before, it is an initiative of the Research Center of Social Computing, recently established at CUT, in collaboration with other faculty members at CUT, the University College in London, the Aristotelian University of Thessaloniki, Universidad de Studi Roma 3, Telefónica Investigación y Desarrollo, Innovators SA in Greece, SICAM Generic Limited in Cyprus, Cyprus Research Innovation Center also in Cyprus. I would like to thank the involved faculty from CET, Dr. Michael Sylvianos, who is the coordinator, Dr. Panagiotis Zafir is the director of the Research Center of Social Computing, Dr. Andreas Lanitis, Nicolas Savatsoulis, and Andri Ioannou. As they have been very efficient all these years for the university, but they've been especially efficient in the last couple of years. The pursuit for excellence in research is a huge priority in our organization, and this is one of the projects that makes us very proud here at the university, and I want to assure you that you will have all the support you need from this administration. We would also like to thank our partners for their collaboration. Also want to thank you all for your presence. I'm sure that the meetings and presentations will be very rewarding and fruitful for all the partners and participants. We're going to hear all the details of this grant, this project from all the involved faculty and participants during the course of this discussion. We would like to tell you that we're going to have to excuse ourselves because today it's the day that we have the meeting of the council. Even though we'd like to stay and listen to all these very interesting conversations and discussions, we have to leave in just a few minutes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Ameliatos. Now I'd like to invite the podium the senior representative of the Ministry of Education, the senior officer, Mr. Stelios Stofidis, to give us his remarks on the Ministry of Education.
Dear Director, distinguished guests,
On behalf of the Director General of Higher Education Delegation, Dr. Despina Martidou, who unfortunately cannot be here due to a very serious problem, I would like to address her speech. I would like, first of all, to thank the authorities of the Cyprus University of Technology, as well as the Social Computing Research Center of the university, for inviting me today here and for giving me the opportunity to address this ceremony. The Ministry of Education and Culture promotes research activity in our universities, and we are very happy every time a competitive research project is gained by one of our universities. Research projects do not only bring money to a university, they also bring new jobs for the university graduates and new researchers, especially in a period where the economic crisis has increased employment. Moreover, the new jobs that are created are for that specific pool of people where the higher unemployment exists in Cyprus. We know that the Social Computing Research Center at the Cyprus University of Technology is a very active center in the area of research, dealing with competitive research projects and collaborating with world-renowned partners. Moreover, with these projects, the center brings together academics and researchers from different countries and different universities, promoting transnational cooperation and mobility. As we have learned from the description of the current project, the universities, the academics, and the researchers involved collaborate with industrial partners, thus linking higher education and research to the work market, something so important in our recent days. In addition, industrial partners offer expertise in areas like production-grade software development, access to real-world online social network, etc., through widely deployed product areas where they are ahead of the universities. We consider the collaboration between the universities and the work market extremely important for both parts, as well as for the employability of the students after their graduation, and something that seems to be quite new in Cyprus. This new project, with the title Enhancing Security and Privacy in the Social Web, a user-centered approach for the protection of minors and ENCASE, constitutes an innovative initiative in a very sensitive area of our days. The aim of ENCASE project is to leverage the latest advances in user security and privacy to design and implement browser-based architectures for the protection of minors from malicious actors in online social networks. Although the project is addressed to academics and researchers, the results of this project touch every one of us, our children and our grandchildren, and for this reason, the project becomes even more important and even more interesting. Please allow me, as the head of the higher education of our country, to congratulate you for your new project and to advise you to work hard in order to get more and more projects for the university, to create more and more jobs for our new graduates, and help the Ministry of Education strategic target to establish Cyprus as a higher education and research center. I hope that your paradigm will be followed by all the academics in the university, and that we will soon see more research projects in the Cyprus University of Technology. With these thoughts, please allow me once again to congratulate the university, Dr. Sirianos, and his team, and wish you every success for your project.
I'd like to thank director, the Senior Education Officer, for the welcome speeches. And I would like also to invite to the podium the Director of the Social Computing Research Center, Mr. Enhancing.
Thank you very much for attending our kickoff meeting. My role is to present the Social Computing Research Center, and for that reason, I would have to provide some more details about the center rather than the project. So the Social Computing Research Center, as mentioned already, is one of the few research centers established at the university 6 months ago, and it brings under its umbrella a number of staff from various different departments and assistant research centers now, and has been in operation, as I mentioned, for just 6 months. The role of the center is to establish itself as a hub for multidisciplinary research in social computing, bringing all the different teams that are under such an umbrella together. It addresses key priorities under Horizon 2020, which includes inclusive societies, safety and privacy online, issues related to technology for social change, and issues related to how we can use technology to change the quality of our lives. Next. The vision of the CRC is to become a hub of high impact, successful multidisciplinary research in this area. Our research falls in 4 different themes: online social networks and analysis, which includes, for example, I'm just highlighting a few themes: data mining and machine learning in social networks, security, privacy, and trust, under which this project falls, entertainment, games, virtual reality, education technologies. For example, computer graphics and virtual reality, serious games in education, next. Social exclusion inclusion, which includes how we can design systems and technology for people with disabilities and the elderly. Social computing for societal change, example can include the use of technology by minority groups, refugees, migrants, or any other sensitive populations. And general applications of social computing for improving the quality of life of our population. Next. At the moment, the Social Computing Research Center brings under its umbrella 10 faculty members from 3 different departments of the university, which includes the Department of Communication and Internet Studies, the Department of Multimedia and Graphic Arts, and the Department of Electrical Engineering, Computer Engineering, and Informatics. I was about to mention the names, but you will see the names, the people later in the video. Next. We're currently, despite being a new center and only operating for 6 months now, we have secured funding of a total of around 3.6 million euro, for the university around a million. We are coordinating all of our current projects, which are 2 of them. One of them is NOTRE, Network of Social Computing Research. This project has as its goal to establish and strengthen the actual center. And the other one is ENCASE, which will be presented today. You can get more information by following the links. I'm going to talk a bit about the other project, since you were not here, or some of you were not here at the kickoff meeting that took place last week. NOTRE, as I mentioned, has its goal to strengthen the research center. It was funded through the twinning scheme of Horizon. Twinning enables low-performing countries like Cyprus to link with high-performing countries in Europe to strengthen its status and its abilities. The funding was for €1 million. Next. And now we are going to show a video from the actual kickoff last week. Before we start it, I just want to say that through the video you can realize that it's a multidisciplinary project. And apart from my heavy accent, you will hear some other heavy accents, which actually shows that we are also a multilingual project. is a 3-minute video, so if some of you have other commitments, okay.
I can't see.
Yeah. Hint. Yalla. No.
With 4 leading partners from Europe that are going to guide us through the process to establish the center in terms of and to the European Union.
Norway is a very important project of social computing in Cyprus and in Europe.
Well, the project Node is a very interdisciplinary, and people are coming from political science, from social science, from computer science, and it's truly a learning process to know how we can exchange all this knowledge.
Notre is a great project for networking and collaboration. I'm really glad to be part of it. So we are hoping to establish a center on social computing research and to promote the technical communities area.
I'm very happy to be part of this project. I think this project is a very nice means to improve the level of innovation and excellence in research in social computing in Cyprus, because it's putting together a collection of very nice partners with different expertise and disciplines that together will create excellent consortium to promote new future ventures.
Okay, we are very proud of our members of the association. So the project basically, as I mentioned before, the previous project, or the current project, but not the one we are presenting today, is looking at strengthening actually the center further. Next. The partners we are mentioning in the video, we'll go to the next slide. And through these partners, NSCRC, the Social Computer Research Center, and through a number of activities which include exchange of staff, training, workshops at conferences, research project proposals, and other activities, we plan to enhance the social computer research in Cyprus. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Lafinis, for a very thorough introduction to what the social computer research is doing. I would like to thank our guests from the leadership of the university. They now have to be excused because they have a council to attend. I also would like to thank the ministry for its presence and its presentation. So this project is a collaboration between many institutions, research institutions and companies in Europe, mainly the University College London, the Computer Science Department from England, from the UK, the University of Roma from Roma, in Italy, the Italian University, the Telefonica Innovation and Development, Signal Generics in Cyprus, SCI, the Cyprus Research Institute for Innovation, and of course, Innovators, a company in Greece. So what we're going to try to address in this project in the next 4 years is the problem of online abuse that is targeting minors, children. So this is a growing problem. And studies have shown that 1 in 5 young people suffer online abuse after that. A relative of ours or our own children are extremely likely to have already, if they are in the age that they can access the internet, are extremely likely to have already suffered abuse. One type of such abuse is the so-called cyberbullying. Cyberbullying is when children or adults talk to children and they use ugly words, ugly phrases to intimidate them, to insult them, to make them scared. And this is a growing problem, and sometimes it has been shown to be even worse than face-to-face abuse. So insulting a child may be more harmful to him or her than actually facing physical abuse in some cases. And this is not just a problem for teenagers, it's also a problem for very young children. Children of age 6, 7, 8. You know, our children can now access the internet since they are when they are 2 or 3 years old. So at 4 years old, they may be targeted for some kind of abuse. At 5 or 6, more likely. And this bullying is escalating. This is a headline from last year, I think in August. A few months ago, a teenager committed suicide because of bullies. And we also have sexual predation online. Sexual predators that are targeting children in online social networks for their own very bad intentions. And this is also a growing problem. It's always in the news, we get the impression that the internet has somehow it almost seems like the internet and online social networks has somehow made this problem worse. We don't know if this is due to the internet or these people always existed in our society. It's just now that things are a lot more public and they have more access to children. The thing is that online social network as a platform has actually facilitated this type of extremely malicious, illegal, criminal activity. And they hide, these people hide behind the social networks, they hide their identity, they present themselves to be either teenagers, they present the full users, minor users, into having conversations with them, and in the worst cases, exchanging very personal information. Or even worse, actually meeting these malicious people. Now, these threats are all over the internet. But social networks in particular, the social web as we call it, like Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat is a very popular platform among teenagers, facilitates a type of communication that was not available a few years ago. So the adults, us, did not grow up to know the features of this platform. We were not trained in the features of this platform. So most of us know Facebook, but most of us in this room do not know Snapchat and never used it. We don't know the features of Snapchat. In reality, a teenager is using Snapchat. The application Snapchat is automatically deleting all the photos that he receives. So if somebody is abusing him or her by sending him illicit photos, the parent who checks the Snapchat account of the user will know better. Will not know any better. We have no idea that this type of communication is happening. And in some cases, it may be innocent because it's just between teenagers of some age, or it can be extremely malicious. And of course, the social web has allowed, in some respect, the sexual predators to use this platform as a way for them to coordinate and know where to find information. Information of abuse of children. Through social networks, these sexual predators can reach countless children. And while they can remain relatively anonymous with the current technologies. What ENCASE wants to do is to prevent all this malicious activity through various means. And what we really want to create technology that will be added on the browsers, either browser extensions as we call them, or browser add-ons, Chrome extensions or Firefox plugins, that will enhance the web browser that we use in such a way that it will be able to detect when somebody is talking to a child in a malicious way, to detect if somebody is abusing it, either by insulting it or by sending him illicit photos or asking for illicit photos or other means. The add-ons will be able to detect whether or not our child is experiencing stress of some kind, because the way he speaks, she speaks, the way she's behaving will change because of this emotional stress, and we will be able to detect it. Most of this processing, most of this analysis of these activities will be happening on the browser, on the computer of the user. So private data will not be disclosed on other servers or in other locations. They will stay on the browser. Data that need to go on the browser for some kind of meta-analysis, they will be carefully, diligently anonymized. And this project will be, of course, because it deals with sensitive data, it will be under the guidance, under the supervision of the ethics sector of the European Commission, which has very strict guidelines regarding the protection of personal information. And we're very aware of these rules, and we'll be getting also approvals from national data protection authorities, and so on. So this is basically the architecture. You have the online social data, like on Facebook or Twitter. The users may opt to give some of this data to our own servers for analysis, but only if they opt to, if they allow us to do it. with their informed consent. The parents may give them always a user. Let me add here that when a child uses our add-on, in order to use our add-on, he will have to get the approval of his parents. Because this add-on is essentially useless really, if the parents are not aware of the existence of this technology. So this is essential to describe it in other simpler words. This is just a very, very advanced parental control tool. Very advanced parental control tool. This is what we envision it to be. And the technology for this very advanced parental control tool exists today. All we have to do is really to put the components together. That's very, very difficult to do, of course, and it requires a lot of research. But the actual technology, we know it's feasible nowadays. There are applications here and there, fragmented in various places, various applications that can do most of the things that we are promising. We're not promising something that is 10 years from now. Automatic text recognition can tell if somebody is distressed. Natural language processing can tell if somebody is distressed. We can detect nudity on photos easily. We were able to do it many years ago. So all we have to do is to combine these technologies together, put them on a Firefox or Chrome add-on, and know that if our child is using this the browser that has this add-on on, he or she is safe. Of course, to be realistic, children are very, very aware of the current technologies that exist out there, and just this solution by itself will not be able to protect them. Because the children may go use mobile applications. They may use hacked versions of a browser. There are many ways to bypass any type of current parental control that takes place on the browser. For this reason, we are also considering enhancements that will put several controls in the network. For example, in the Wi-Fi router that is provided by a company like Sita or Telefonica. This will prevent this kind of a component will be able to analyze all text that goes from the users to possibly malicious other users. Now, the primary goal of this kind of projects, the primary goal of this kind of AMarie Skłodowska-Curie action is the knowledge transfer. Transferring knowledge, exchanging knowledge between academia and industry, and vice versa. This is the primary goal. And in order to do that, of course, the Commission in its wisdom realized that in order to do that, you have to have a real project. You have to have real research goals. So this project is a hybrid. It's a mixture of events and exchanges, travels that where people exchange information through presentations or through meetings like this one. And at the same time, real research takes place where people in their dark rooms are coding and writing specifications and so on, doing the real work. And all these things are combined in this 4-year project to have very effective creation of new knowledge, and this knowledge to be exchanged among the participants. We're very glad to have in this consortium leading research institutions. For example, UCL, University College London, the Computer Science Department. It's in the top 10 computer science departments in the world, according to several rankings. Right? It's extremely, it's a hub of innovation in computer science in Europe. Telefonica, innovation and development. It's one of the most dynamic and most effective research groups in the world, I would say. In an era where many research labs in many companies are shutting down because of cuts. Yahoo Research is one of the most recent examples. Telefonica insists on innovating and having its own research lab. And we're lucky to have these guys collaborating with us. And of course, we have Cyprus innovation companies. I would say the two most well-known and most impactful research companies in Cyprus, both of them, Cyprus Research Innovation Center, and Signa Genetics. And we have companies we have innovators from Athens, another SME, small to medium enterprise, and Aristotle University, it's a good company to be in and work together for years. Now, our research goal is essentially to profile users, to be able to profile users and understand whether or not they have bad intentions or they are innocent users, to understand whether or not they are emotionally stressed, to understand whether or not they exhibit aggressive behavior, and the extent the state of the art in the detection of fake false accounts. But many of the malicious activities on online social networks happen through the use of fake accounts, false accounts with fake identity information, and also being able to detect the propagation of false information. I talked about it, I would like to skip it. I'd just like to add here that one more tool that our browser add-ons will provide is that they will allow, now currently teenagers can share pictures online through their social networks, easily. But these pictures, so say I'm a teenager and I share my photo with another friend. This friend can easily take this picture that I shared with her or him and broadcast it, forward, Photoshop it and forward it somewhere else, even worse. So we will create tools that will use steganography and encryption to protect this content. So if I send a picture from the beach and that has relatively compromising information on it, somebody will not be able to reshare this easily with other users. She will have to go through various technical steps in order to be able to reproduce this information. Now, our aim and our call to the society is we like to get users, people to try the technology that we will develop. We're interested in getting social network companies in checking our technologies. We're even more interested in getting the parents and the educators, the teachers, in using our tools, using them themselves, and then, after they get approval, the necessary approval, to promote this technology to the Ministry of Education and have it widely adopted by the schools in Cyprus and other countries. Of course, as we said, transnational knowledge is extremely important. In general, the improvement of the research and innovation potential in Cyprus and other countries. And this program, lastly, will provide great career opportunities. Companies will hire people that will work on this project. The people in our project will gain, that are already in companies, that are already in our universities, will gain valuable international research experience and be more mobile in this evolving, very mobile European work, European employment environment. So being able to work with researchers from other countries, try to communicate as good as you can in English, learn new languages, adapt to the cultures, is an extremely important skill for a new researcher that drastically increase their employability. And this project will work in that direction too. Thank you all for listening to me. I'd like to invite to the podium Dr. Jeremy Blackburn from Telefonica IMASTEC, who will talk to us about cyberbullying online games.
Hi, everybody. My name is Jeremy Tucker. I'm from Telefonica Research in Barcelona, Spain, and I'm here today to talk about understanding and predicting cyberbullying and other toxic behavior in online games. Okay, so what is cyberbullying and toxic behavior? Well, it's bad behavior that takes place using electronic technology. It violates social norms, it inflicts misery, it continues to cause harm after it occurs, and it harms the community. It's a big problem, right? As Michael explained. Also, it impacts life beyond the virtual world, right? Michael noted a couple of cases of suicide. There's a big famous case of suicide in the US where a girl named Megan Meyer was harassed on MySpace and she ended up killing herself. So it happens in the online world, but it impacts the real world in a really meaningful way. But where does cyberbullying happen? Where does it take place? Well, social media is the most obvious place, stuff like Facebook and Twitter. However, it's also alarmingly common in online games. So online games rely on social interactions. Most of the most popular games involve teams. And also games are serious business these days, right? There's a competitive environment, there's public ranking systems, and there's professional esports organizations. Just to let you know how big it is, over here I put the prize pools from 3 recent video game tournaments and comparing it to the 2015 US Open tennis tournament. As you can see, the prize pools are millions of dollars in video games. They're on the same order of magnitude as professional athletes that are playing tennis. One in particular I'd like to point out is this Dota 2 international tournament. The winning team this year won $6.5 million, $6.6 million. There's 5 players in the team. The youngest player on that team was 16. So these aren't adults that are playing these games and making money, they're kids. Right? So that's really important. And again, just to drive it home, on the right here, I've shown the progression of League of Legends, which is the game I'm going to be talking about. Their world championships over time. So in season 1 here, a few years ago, you can see it's a couple of people in a room. But by season 4 over there, we're filling arenas, 20, 30, 40,000 people watching these guys play games. It's a really big deal. It's not just Mario anymore, guys. It's it's a real thing. But is it really a problem in games? And it turns out it is from a variety of angles. So first off, the results in calls to customer support. This costs companies money. There's complaints on forums, like a lot of complaints. On the right here, I went to the League of Legends subreddit and I looked at the top posts of all time, and it's talking about toxic behavior. So this is talked about a lot. It lowers players' performance. Right? If you're getting bullied and harassed and stuff like that, you're probably not going to perform up to your ability. It reduces enjoyment of the game and it causes players to quit. So it's a real problem. So I'm going to talk about a game that we studied in particular. It's called League of Legends. It's the most popular online multiplayer online battle arena. That's a genre of video game. It's free to play. Just to show the scale of the game, there's 27 million players per day, 7.5 million concurrent players at any given time, 67 million monthly players, and again, to show the scale of this thing, there are 27 million people that watch the World Championships. So this is like a professional, like a real, like basketball, hockey, that kind of thing. It's a fertile ground for toxic behavior, though. So just to give an overview of the way League of Legends work, it'll help understand what's going on further. It's a team competition. It's usually 5 players versus 5 players. They use skill-based matchmaking, so players aren't randomly thrown into games together. Instead, the assistant tries to ensure that it's a fair match between players. Players, at the beginning of each match, they choose a champion to play. And there's over 100 different champions you can play in League of Legends. Each one has a unique set of abilities that fills a given role. The objective of the game is to destroy the enemy's nexus or their base. And this gameplay is kind of the baseline for all the MOBAs. Those 3 games that I listed before that have the $1 million plus prize pools, those are all MOBAs, and this is the most popular genre of game out there right now. So League of Legends is played on a static map. Every game is played in the same map. It's a symmetric map, and there's 3 lanes that connect the 2 team faces. These are called top, mid, and bottom, or top, middle, and bottom. There's computer-controlled turrets in each lane, and you have to destroy all the turrets in one of these lanes before you can attack the enemy team base. There's also a jungle area between lanes, and there's a fog of war that restricts vision. So you can't see everything that's going on the map. You can only see the things that are going on in your immediate vicinity. And this is what the map looks like. So here you have 2 team faces, right, the nexuses, and then here's the top lane, that connects them on the top, the mid lane that connects them in the middle, and the bottom lane that connects them on the bottom. And as well as this jungle area in between where there's different activities that players can perform. So when you start a game of League of Legends, first you're presented with the champion selection screen. This is where you pick the character you want to play. This is what it looks like, and it might be hard to read, but this is actually the first opportunity to toxic behavior. Before the game even started, in this screenshot, there's 2 players that are fighting each other over who's going to play in the top lane. This guy here says, I'm going to play top. This guy here says, I'm going to play top. So before the game's even already started, you can see there's some bad stuff going on. Ultimately, at its heart, League of Legends is a game of resource management. So players earn golden experience by doing various things, for example, killing or assisting in killing enemy team's players, completing objectives, and killing computer-controlled minions, or feats are called. From gold, you can buy stat-enhancing equipment like armor to make yourself more strong, and you can upgrade your abilities with experience to gain more power. And that's how the game's played. This is what it looks like in game. This is something called team fight, where the players in the 2 teams are all fighting together at one point. There's lots of colors and exciting stuff going on. It's a really fun time. So now when the game's over, your players are presented with a final scoreboard. So in panel A here, you can see the players' performance, all the champions they did, the different items they bought, how many goals they earned, how many kills they had, that kind of thing. In panel C, the players can chat with each other after the game is over. And in panel B, which is what most of the rest of the talks are focused on, there's an opportunity to report toxic behavior. You see these red exclamation points? What you can do is you can click on that and report somebody for toxic behavior. But how is this toxic behavior dealt with? Well, there's two ways you can deal with it. The first is employee monitoring. This is extremely costly and doesn't scale. League of Legends has 7.5 million current players. It's going to be really hard to have employees monitoring all these games. It just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. The second way is the report system that I noted in that panel B there. And this is good. It allows players that actually experience the behavior to report it. And it makes use of the community, so it scales, right? You don't need all these employees, you have the players doing it for you. However, the problem here is the community is not necessarily to be trusted. I'll talk about this a little bit later, but there's some players that will actually try and get you in trouble as a way of being toxic, right? They're going to report you for things you didn't necessarily do. As a third option, the makers of League of Legends came up with a system called Tribunal. This is a crowdsourced system, so it doesn't involve employee monitoring. What happens is, after a player has received a few hundred reports against him from like the panel B I showed before, he sends to the tribunal. And what happens is the tribunal takes 5 of the matches that he's played and puts them together in a case, and then presents this case to essentially a jury of his peers. Right? So you have other players of the game who weren't in the game that the toxic behavior happened, they're kind of partial third parties, and they're presented this case information. And they're able to cast votes on pardon or punishment. Eventually, the reviewers come to a consensus, either majority, strong majority, or overwhelming majority, and the result of the case is finalized and a punishment is handed out. So here's what a case looks like. At the top here, you can see the decision for this guy was to punish. It was a majority level agreement. He received a warning. There's the 5 different matches that they put place in the case. You can see the reports that were made by the players in the game. You can see the chat logs. You can see the player performance, etc. What we did is we went out and crawled 3 regions of worth of tribunal reports. So League of Legends is broken up into regions. Players in America play against players in America. Players in Europe play against players in Europe, etc. We went out and got the 3 biggest regions. This is from Europe, West, North America, and Korea. And we got everything the reviewers see. So the data that we have is the exact same thing the jury of the accused peers saw. Overall, we have about 1.4 million cases. So that's about 1.4 million toxic players, possibly toxic players, 6 million matches, and about 11 million reports of this behavior overall. So what type of behavior is reportable? There's actually a lot of behavior that's reportable. So when you click that exclamation point, you're given a drop-down box that lets you select what category you want to report the behavior for. So 2 in particular, offensive language and verbal abuse, those are cyberbullying, clearly cyberbullying. This is harassment, telling people to kill themselves, that type of thing. There's also a bunch of domain-specific stuff. So like assisting the enemy team. Now, this is a case where a player will go out of his way to make his team lose by helping the other team in some way. Intentional feeding. And this is when a player will try to suicide to the other team over and over again. That way the other team earns more gold, they get more powerful. There's stuff like inappropriate name. This is somebody that gives themselves a really vulgar name, that kind of thing. Leading the game. This is if somebody gets pissed off, they'll quit out of the game, and that obviously puts his team at a huge disadvantage. So what type of this behavior, which types of behavior are actually reported? So we have all these options to report the data, but what do people actually report? So over here I have a plot of the number of matches per case. Point out the pink line, the pink bar, the out, this has a really big effect. If you ask for help, then the other team is 16 times more likely to make a report. What this means is the bystander effect can be overcome. And this is really important for us if we want to try and mitigate bullying in general. We have to educate people. You have to take a stand. You have to act. You can't just ignore things. Next, because League of Legends is a team game, we can take a look at something called in-group and out-group dynamics. And this is the idea that people tend to favor those that are in the same group, and they disfavor those that are in other groups. So, example, I may favor the people that are on my team because I have a sort of ephemeral bond with them. And the first thing we did is here, on this plot that I'm showing who reports for a given category of toxic behavior on different regions in North America, Europe, and Korea. And what we found, and this was not that surprising, that if the type of toxic behavior affects the outcome of the game, for example, like the assisting enemy team, then the toxic player's allies are more likely to report. This makes sense, right? He's causing them to lose the game. However, there's one category of behavior that affects both teams equally and does not affect the outcome of the game, and that's the inappropriate name. And in this case, we saw that enemies of the toxic player were 47% more likely to report him. So this is a clear example of an in-group and out-group dynamics, right? This offense doesn't actually affect the outcome of the game. So now it's a question of my teammates, and this guy's on my team, so I have sort of an ephemeral bond with him. Yeah, he has a bad name, but he's on my team. I feel a sense of belonging to him. The other team, though, the enemy team, he's their enemy, and they have no sense of belonging to him, so they're more likely to report it. And this is a really interesting result in our opinion. Next, if we have different regions, we wanted to take a look at how cyberbullying and toxic behavior is perceived in different cultures. And we looked at this as Korea versus North America and Europe, right? So Korea is an Eastern culture. They have a collectivist type of culture, whereas us in the West are more individualistic. In Korea, the emphasis tends to be on the group goal, whereas in the Western world, it's a little bit more focused on individual performance. So in Korea, they may say there's no I in team, whereas us in the West may say, yeah, well, there ain't no we either. And what we did here is we looked at, on the left here, the fraction of offenses that are pardoned for each region, so North America, EU, and Korea, for the cyberbullying offenses, offensive language and verbal abuse. And what we can see is that Korea is much more likely than the other two regions to pardon people for cyberbullying offenses. Now this was kind of surprising to us because Korea is like a collectivist culture. We would think that people that are kind of being mean to each other on the team would be punished. But when we dug into it a little bit deeper, it turns out there's this phenomenon in Korea called Wangta. And the idea is that when you're on a team, that you should deliberately bully the poorest performing member of the team, right? So you tell them, hey, you're the reason we're doing bad, you need to get better, you suck, all this kind of thing. It's a really accepted phenomenon in Korea. And this is exhibited in the fact that Koreans tend to be more lenient when it comes to cyberbullying. They think it's okay, if this guy performed badly, I can tell him to kill himself. On the other hand, when we look at offenses that actually affect the team, so assisting the enemy team, intentional feeding, these are stuff where the toxic player is deliberately trying to harm his team. We see that Korea is more likely to punish. And this makes sense, right? Because this type of behavior goes against the group goal, and Koreans are going to kind of implicitly feel that it's poor behavior. So next, we took a look at the language that's used by players. Because we have the chat logs. So on the left here, we have the most common 1- and 2-word phrases used by typical players, and then toxic players. And clearly, immediately you can see a difference, right? The typical players have things like smiley faces. They have strategic information like group push. This is the players telling each other, let's all group up and try and win the game right now. Whereas the toxic players, right, retards, fucking retard, fucking useless. You know, all this type of really bad stuff. So language is a huge deal. Something more interesting to us, for the domain in particular, is that certain phrases were correlated with the point in the game they're being used. So at the beginning of the game, you see toxic players tend to say stuff like, I'll feed. And what this is them kind of threatening their team that if they don't get their way, they're going to intentionally feed and cause the team to lose the game. And it trails off over time, which happens at the beginning of the game because usually the toxic player has not gotten his way in some way, shape, or form. Next, towards the middle of the game, you see this fucking bomb. Now this is not robots, it's talking about the bottom lane. Now champions that are playing the bottom lane can be very weak early on and they gain strength. And at the end of the game, they're your most powerful characters. And what happens is the toxic player will see that around the middle of the game, that the characters in the bottom lane aren't performing that well. And to him, it's an indication that the team's gonna lose. And so boom, he starts lashing out at these, the characters that are playing in the bottom lane. Finally, at the end of the game, you see toxic players, this report noob show up. So a noob is kind of like a catch-all insult phrase in video games. It's like newbie, but it's a catch-all insult phrase. So what's happening here is the toxic player is realizing that he's going to lose the game, most likely, and he starts blaming other people, and he wants to use that report system to punish them. And this is the reason why you can't just trust the reports that directly come from the players. Okay, so now that we have a little bit of understanding about how toxic behavior is exhibited in this online game, we asked ourselves, can we build an automatic system that will help, that will predict whether or not somebody's guilty or innocent? So what we did is we built 4 different classification models. We built one that just takes into account in-game performance, so things like how many kills and deaths you got, how much gold you earned. We call that model P. Then we looked at only information from reports. So this is like the number of reports that were made, who made the reports, enemies or allies, any comments in the reports, etc. Then the chat logs. So this is just looking at the valence score or the goodness of the language that's used. And then finally, we combined all these models together into the full model. And here we have the results, the performance of individual models. So this plot over here, it shows the performance of the models. Basically, the closer the line is to the top left corner, the better performing it is. As you can see, the full model performed best, and it had like an accuracy of about 80%. So 80% of the time it was able to discriminate between toxic and typical players. It's not that surprising that the full model is best, but it is kind of interesting because it shows that reviewers are not just using any given piece of information. They're kind of taking a holistic approach, looking at everything. Not just the performance, not just the chat, not just the reports, but everything together. Another interesting thing we found out is that the company that makes League of Legends, every once in a while, will spot check the tribunal with their in-house employees, and they tend to get about 80% agreement with the tribunal as well. So our machine learning algorithms here are providing approximately the same utility as the crowdsourced solution, and that's kind of promising. Next, we wanted to take a look at if it's easier to predict clear innocence or clear guilt, right? So this type of behavior is kind of ambiguous. It's sometimes hard to figure out if somebody's actually toxic or not, but what if we just look at the stuff that the reviewers say is clearly innocence or clearly guilt? And as it turns out, we're better able to predict clear innocence, right? So this is how we do on predicting overwhelming pardon decisions, and this is how we do predicting overwhelming punish decisions. And we do well in both cases, well above 50%, but it's easier to predict clear innocence. Overall, what the results show is that we can use an automated system to kind of filter out the easy stuff, right? Before any reviewer, any human has to look at this stuff, we can get rid of everybody that's clearly innocent. And this could be useful for implementing the system in the real world. Finally, again, because we had all of these different regions, we wanted to see what happens if you train a model using data from North America and then apply it to data from Europe. Right, when I talked about the Korea versus the Western world, we saw there were some differences in how cyberbullying toxic behavior is perceived. Well, how does that show up in machine learning algorithms? And as it turns out, the models do somewhat work across regions. We don't get as good of results as we get. However, it's still not bad. It's not bad, especially when it comes to predicting overwhelming pardons. Something interesting here is that the performance model, the stuff that just looked at how players performed, was the most consistent. So that indicates that, maybe if you die a whole bunch, it doesn't matter if you're in Europe or North America or Korea, it has the same weight as whether or not you're being toxic. Interestingly enough, the report model was the least inconsistent. It was quite strong in North America, but very weak in Europe. The only really explanation we have for this is there's differences in the ways that people perceive the behavior in game and their willingness to report. But the point is that there are cultural differences. And we can take some of our findings from one culture and apply them to another, but not 100%. So in summary, I just want to leave you a few points. Cyberbullying and toxic behavior is a real problem in online games. And this is bad in general, but it's good for us because we can use online games as a virtual laboratory. We can do studies in the virtual laboratories and then apply our findings in the real world. There are some interesting theoretical insights we can gain. For example, the bystander effect can be broken. That's a really big deal if you want to implement programs in the real world. In-group and out-group matters, right? So we have to take into account group dynamics. And there are socio-political and cultural differences. We can't just, again, we can't say, okay, this is cyberbullying. It's not a cut and dry thing. It's not one size fits all. Finally, toxic and typical behavior can be predicted, right? You can build automated systems to do this. Humans and automated systems make use of a variety of information. Language in our case seems to be the strongest differentiator, so that's a good place to focus. And also domain-specific information is useful, but sometimes in unexpected ways. So I've left out a lot of details on this, but we have several papers published. Myself and my co-authors, Haibun Kwak and Hanyang Sahan. So if you know, please check them out and learn more details. Thank you for your time.
I'd like to thank Professor Blackman for this very interesting analysis. We can have a coffee break now until 11 o'clock, and then we shall continue with the partner introductions. We will finish the second part of the agenda at 12 o'clock. Have a lunch.
Το link και να μπορεί να το ξαναδείς.
Buenas. Okay, okay, that. Sí. Era de that.
We need the presentations in the outlets. If you can send an email to Marcos.
Right now. Jeremy, I will send you the slides of the profile presentation for the So I think we can start the second part of this morning. So now I'm going to talk about what the science university of technology would think of this project. But most importantly, for our guests, make sure you look right. Patricia, I guess this is the Greek and Italian colleagues have to look right for this religious compliance. Extremely important. Actually happen. And the second thing is, if you haven't brought this with you, we have 4 or 5 converters, so we can give it to you. So the dinner tonight is going to be at the Castello Tavern. It's nearby. It's we meet at the library square. There's the library right across the street. The North People, we call it the library. We all meet there at 7:30. So we can meet here at the same day. Outside the street on the library square, and we go by walk. So we walk there. So that's the logistics for tonight. So the university, for those who don't know, it was founded back in 2004, very young university. It has 6 faculties. The faculties involved in this project come from the people involved in this project come from the engineering and technology faculty, the fine and applied arts faculty, and the communication and media studies faculty. So 3 schools are combined together under SCLC and are also working on this project. We currently have 5,000 students and we intend to get more. The center, like Pangiotis presented earlier, it's very new, 6 months old. We have partners from Telefonica, Intel, Miralab in Geneva, Fortas in Utrecht, Udus in Germany, and so on. The department, my department, we have 25 members, many PhD students, and we try to publish in good venues, the ones that have impact and are guaranteed to disseminate our research work. We have been very successful with the department in terms of attracting funding. Just in 2015, we were able to get almost close to 3.5 million euros. There is an ENCASE grant from a colleague in our department. We have innovation action in this program, and so on. So if you're interested in Horizon 2020 proposals or paid proposals, please let us know how we can help each other. And we have world-class partners. Some of them are right here in the room. The MGA department is a multimedia and graphics art department. It's under the School of Finance and Applied Arts. A STEM faculty member is the school that Professor Panagiotis, Professor Vassilis is there. AMarie, the Panagiotis are the members in this group, in this project that are from the MGA department. AMarie and Panagiotis are more interested in the human aspect, the human-computer interaction aspects, and the educational aspects of technology. So they are extremely in this project. You will see them actively participating. The Communication and Studies department combines, I guess the title is combines communication in the sense, say, of journalism and all the other aspects around communication and internet, of course. The technological aspects of internet, also studying the societal impacts of the internet. And we also have members here. Nicolas Vassilis is not here, but we will meet him tomorrow, I guess. There are various labs. Mine and my colleagues from Disco's lab is called Network Systems and Science Laboratory, who are the network systems networking guys in the university. So basically, we are the only unit really specializing in networking. There are other colleagues in the communication, there is a colleague in the communication and studies department also who's doing networking. But in security, for security specifically, we are the only people to go through. The service interaction lab from the MGA department, they are dealing with human-computer interaction, computer-mediated communication, inclusive design, social and specialized computing, enhanced learning, and so on. The people who will be working on the case from the side of university technology, me, Panagiotis, Andreas from the MGA department, Andrew from the MGA department, and Nicolas from the Communication and Internet Studies department. Three key researchers are Konstantinos, Antigoni, and Savas. We have more people involved, but these are the currently key people, the students at postdoc level, working on a case. Our profiles are to security and network systems, CI, social aspects, social analysis, address doing digital image processing, computer vision, computer graphics, biometrics, 3D construction, and is doing computer support collaborative work, design and evaluation of such systems, integration of technology and all levels of education and frameworks for us. Nicolas is doing multimedia annotation, another systems, doing advanced applications, image analysis, and one is doing all these people will be launched to the government. That's what I was mentioning. There may be other people working on this project, but they may not be seconded. And what I will go, I will be going to Telefonica and innovators. Panagiotis, I think the same. AMarie will be going to Telefonica this summer, in Telefonica in Madrid. Nicolas will be going to go to Greece in innovators. Antigoni will go to innovators mainly. So, what we want to contribute to this project, besides coordinating it, at first, the first year is about writing the guidelines for the specifications of developing the software. Defining the architecture, getting obtaining the requirements, and so on. So in that line of work, we first need to understand the security and privacy consensus of organizational network users. The minors, in our case, it's the minors and their parents. Then design algorithms in collaboration with our partners from UCL, from Telefonica, from Aristotelia. Designing algorithms for machine learning techniques for detecting fake accounts, detecting propagation of false information, malicious activity, and so on. Designing web-based front ends for warning users against suspicious behavior, and also helping users to effectively protect their content through encryption or second ownership. We have the same name tags. As academic institutions where it's establishing in high top-tier high-impact venues. That's a currency that's quite important for us. Companies are interested in producing products and disseminating the results to their customers, having them adopt the technology, try it on trial-based and then buy it. So both of these are developing business plans. So both academic publications and actual business impact is important for this project. So our initial work, the first 6 months, for that, we involve the system requirements and software protection. And we identify, however, that's something that has to be delivered by months, 6 months, 5 months from now, and we buy it by the end of the year. So that's the initial cut. And we want to go next. First, Evangelis was anyone. Have a presentation. Innovators, okay. Innovators from Greece, Makis. So I will try to keep watching as suggested by partners. So I'm here representing Innovators SA, a Greek SME. I say that we're really happy to be here with you, working on this very interesting project, also very challenging for us, because I would say that the social drive has not been that intense in our activities. So far, we're more focused, on development, and we have started some activities related to networking, and then we initiated the track in European research and development and innovation projects. I would like to share with you that we have somehow started implementing this kind of knowledge transfer, because personally I've been involved in quite a few years in research projects funded by the Commission, and as a member of University Partners Group. So some members of our group have somehow founded that research and innovation track in the Innovators SME. So we could say unofficially that Innovators could act as a kind of spin-off of University of Athens. This is good because the knowledge transfer is interest, experience, and expertise is also very, very significant. So we want to start presenting something in this.
So the company founded in 1995, but as an SA, is active from 2001. The focus has been installation and maintenance for mobile telecom technologies, but also development and implementation. We started exporting of telco and IT products and also know-how, which has been telco providers for many MNOs and Greek operator OTE in recent years. In that track, we have many international collaborations related on technology migration, improving solutions, and also internet applications. We have been involved in telco services integration, technology solutions for advanced networking, but also for IoT, focusing on wireless social networks and actuators. Research activities, as mentioned, EU and also some national funded projects with Intracom, with OTE, but also very interesting role in FI space, acting as IoT technology integrator, focusing on development, deployment, and installation for specific pilot cases. And also mainly development of application plugins, focusing on smart city scenarios in the ICT Live City. Our interest has been enriched through the flow from universities. I will focus on networking schemes, internet applications, content awareness, air engineering, progress optimizations, and user experience. Personnel. Max Tamadelato, this is me. As already mentioned, studying in the University of Athens in the Department of Informatics and Communications. Quite a few projects have been involved with me, or vice versa. I have been involved in quite a few projects, from FP6, starting with service provision, service adaptation, then going to reconfigurable radio and complementary radio systems, then wireless system networks, autonomous communication, 5 division projects, but also smart cities and creativity. My main focus area, architecture, information modeling, data modeling, knowledge management, and strategic model for future networks. I have been acted as designated representative of the university. I have been working with the cognitive radio systems, and also in the expert committee for radio systems. Recently, we are starting with also collaboration with IDZ, who is focusing on data engineering, privacy, in IDZ, which might be a as well. And also, Odysseus Smithsonian, more, I would say, innovative stuff, focusing on engineering, application user networks, self-provision schemes, service and network command. Of course, the two of us are just the key personnel to start recruiting people and raising our team as the project work plan will be rolled out and the different tasks will be much more clarified and plan contributions. We can spread our efforts in, I would say, every working practice. We have been assigned the leadership of Work Practice 3 about user aspects, and the Work Practice 8 on dissemination and exploitation. Of course, from our side, we're mostly focusing on exploitation and use, and not much on academic dissemination. So this is the plan communication in more detailed view of the whole list of the tasks spanning from work package 2 on high-level architectural design for this point for this task. Then all the 4 tasks on work package 3 start from user and societal aspects, usability of system security, privacy of systems, sentiment analysis, and finally the guidelines for user interfaces. One task installed in work package 4, task in work package 5, work package 6, and work package 7, work package 8. You may see that those 2 tasks in work package 8 be bold because we will start considering how to go forward with those official contractually. They have been already started. I assume, Michael, that task 8.3 has already started because I can find the actual so yeah, just a bit more details. Standardization and IP protection. Innovators are ourselves and know where we're following it. So we need to see this in the actual output. I don't know, some interfaces, technical part, processes part, and the same for IP protection. So usually in this activity, we start with top-down approach, considering the different recommendations which are active in the various fitting in the scope of the project, and then asking from the partners to clarify which of the recommendations or how the recommendations are active, and also clarify their roles, whether they're just overcluding the monitoring or they're able, meaning that they contribute and impact any standardization. Area 3 was more business-oriented, feasibility studies, business model, market opportunity, and implementation plan. Saying, of course, I would not be able to discuss about market opportunities without having any more specific insight, actual outputs of the project, and also individual exploitation plans from related partners. Because we cannot go to, for example, to develop models for whatever. We need to agree on the main targets of each working package, and also on which expected outcomes we would like to plan, and then see how to better hold validation and related activities instead of approach. That's all from my side.
Thank you, Andy. So who's next? I think we have slides here already from Roma or mathematics. What's that one?
I teach signal theory and biometric systems. So I will try to give you some details about my institution, going from the university level up to the lab level. So Roma Tre University, first of all, I would like to explain, our logo. You can see, a triangle and kind of arch. And this kind of symbol was taken by the location where we are in Rome. In Rome, we are close by Piramide Cestia, which is the only pyramid we have in Rome and maybe very likely in Italy. The pyramid was built, was completed in the year 12 before Christ, and that's the actual look. Actually, they finished the renovation of the pyramid just last year, so the look you will get now is much more green. And this is a gate for the Porta San Paolo, and so this is the gate that you can see in the logo, and that's the pyramid that represents the triangle that represents the pyramid. And this is the look we have in these days, and this was a drawing made by Piranesi in the 18th century, so as you can see, not much has changed since then. But despite that, the university was founded in 1992, so it's relatively young. We have three main universities in Rome: La Sapienza, which is the oldest one. Then we have one Tor Vergata called the short Rome 2, and then there is Roma Tre University. You may wonder about the name. Why Roma Tre? Roma Tre means in Italian tree. You may wonder why tree, because when the university was founded, they started a fight how to call the university, after which personality, a physician, mathematician. So they didn't agree, and so the best solution they found was to call it tree. There was already 1, 2, and then we continue with 3. So we have right now 35,000 students, so it's relatively big. We have all the faculties but the medical school. We have around 900 faculty members, 700 staff, 12 departments, something around 700 PhD students, and 1,500 master students. Just to give you an idea where the university is embedded in the city. So now it is located in what was in the 50s and the 60s the old industrial area of Rome, which, by the way, is just 5 kilometers from the Colosseum, which is the city center. But at the time, it was really the outskirts of the city. So these are all the locations. And if you know Rome, okay, that's train station, and this is the river that crosses Rome. And we are located in this area, which is the Marconi area. And as you can see, there are many red dots, which are the buildings where the university is located. So we have kind of a spread campus around the city, but around some specific areas. Also, the main faculties are along the subways. One of the two lines we have, subway lines we have in Rome, so it's really easy to commute from one place to the other. Some pictures of the structure. And let's go to the department of engineering. So we cover 4 different areas: electronics, computer science and automation, civil engineering, and mechanical and industrial engineering. We have 106 professors, so 34 professors, 31 associate, and 41 assistant professors. Then we have around 20 slots and 50 staff. As for the students, our department has around 1,400 students, around 700 in electronics, and as you can see, almost 1,500 in computer science, and so forth. So let's go down to our section, which is within the Department of Engineering. The place, the section where I refer to is called the section of Applied Electronics. And the building where we are now was built in the 50s and was used to do hydrodynamic tests. But then it went not operation since 1974, and the structure partially collapsed in 1982. But then it was rebuilt, and the building where we are now was inaugurated a few years ago, in 2012. And here you can see. Here you can see how the building was originally, and that's the internal structure. So it was used here to do the hydrodynamic test, and that's how it looks now. So as you can see, the shape of the building was maintained the same, but of course, from functional point of view, it's completely renewed. Now, let's go to the lab I direct, which is the biometric systems and intermediate forensics lab within the section of applied electronics. Now we will try to sketch you which are the main research lines we followed in the last 10 or 15 years. We have a strong background on image processing, and specifically on blind image deconvolution, with application to different kinds of analysis, like, for example, texture analysis and synthesis, image deblurring, and so forth. We work significantly on image denoising, image code detection, and also special effect like aging on digital and analog images. Also, we work significantly on video processing, especially for video summarization, and also for modeling some special kind of videos using fractal modeling. Also, we work on signal processing intensely for secure communication, blind localization, and also blind phase estimation for data transmission. Data hiding is also one of our main areas of research, and we worked on and we are working on different kinds of media like 2D and 3D images, but also on high dynamic range images. And the purpose of our research is to design improved image coding schemes using data hiding techniques, also quality assessment, and also for copyright protection, which was the original reason why data hiding came out. We have a strong focus in these days on biometrics, research on biometrics, and we work on all the different elements in the pipeline of a biometric system, starting from the feature extraction to the classification to the protection of the elements which are stored in the database. To give you more details about our activity, we work on vein patterns. So the vein structure you can extract from the palm, from the throat, from the wrist or fingers of the hand, using both commercial devices or also devices built in our lab. Also in the last few years, we have started an intensive work on the analysis of EEG signals, so electroencephalographic signals, for the purpose of biometric recognition. So if analyzing the response of the brain, you can really distinguish between one person or the other. And it's a very intense and difficult, demanding activity, which is absorbing us quite a lot. And we do signal acquisition both using medical equipment, but also some cheap devices we assemble in our lab. And currently, we are trying to understand if it is really possible to use these kind of signals for people recognition. Also, we work on behavioral biometrics, like, for example, the analysis of dynamic signatures, also in this case, both using commercial devices and also devices built in our lab. And also, we did some activity on keystroke dynamics, so the way you type on your keyboard, but we focused not on computer keyboards, but on mobile phones keyboard. So it's not only the way, the password you type, but also the way you type into that can allow to distinguish if you're authorized or not to get into the system. And with our first experience using these old style phones, and then we of course moved to the new touch system devices. Following up with biometrics, also we are very much interested in the security analysis of biometric systems, and we analyze the different aspects also for multi-biometric systems, as well as we focus a lot on what are called privacy enhancing technologies, because once we extract information from a user and you want to store in the database, you need to protect those information, since they are very sensitive information. And you can't really apply regular cryptography because biometric data are very noisy, and so regular cryptography won't work. So we designed, it's an open research line, of course, but we designed what are called biometric systems, which combine the variability of biometric data with regular cryptographic systems, and also what are called controllable biometrics, which are systems based on the application of irreversible transformation on the plate that is extracted from the data. Also, we are doing some activity following a research project we have in these years on the identification, on user de-identification for privacy protection within the web system. So the Roma 3 team is what you can see on the screen. So there is myself, then we have some experienced researchers and also early stage researchers that will take part in the project, and maybe you can also add some more people who are not in this slide so far. As for our role, I will be very brief, and I will give you more details during tomorrow's presentation. So today we lead work package number 6, sensitive content protection and protection. the goals of this work package are to identify possible sensitive content, to warn the user that is dealing with kind of sensitive content, and also to protect this sensitive content in effective more details about our activities, our settlements, and our role in other work packages will be given tomorrow. So that's pretty much from my side, and my references are here. So
Hello, my name is Skłodowska-Curie. I'm the director of ENCASE. I would like to thank you very much for inviting us in this consortium, which will give us the opportunity to work again with some good friends and partners, like Nicholas and also Patricia, that we will work some years ago. And also work with all the new partners. Tell you a little bit about Signal Events. We are a 10 years old company. We're based here in Limassol. We're a R&D company. We're developing new products and processes for the industry. Today we have 13 people, 6 of which are with PhD, and all with masters and we focus in signal processing, communications, and associations. We have we're exporting our technology today in 24 European countries, but also recently we expanded in the Middle East countries. We have established close collaboration with various companies, which we act as the subcontractors, and also very good collaboration with universities, one of which is a partner. Here you can see a bit of the history. We were established in 2004 here in Limassol as a startup. Since then, we have evolved. We invested in infrastructure, so we have labs and electronics lab, communications lab that we can host the students. We have our own patents, our own portfolio of IP and also products. Our operations, we started as a R&D company. We are an R&D company with the aim of developing our own products. But in the process, we found out that we can do this process of new product development for others. So we established research services, which is one of our most productive operations. So we are commissioned by other companies to design and develop commercial products, new products. We have a very strong network of collaborators of companies and universities, and we are always building on that. And throughout that, our work has been recognized through various innovation awards at the national and the global level. Our expertise is everything that are based on signal processing. Signal processing is a very wide field. Even though it's another field of science, it has a very wide field of applications. And now when we're talking about smart things, smart everything, it means a lot of signal processing. Biometrics based on signal processing, and a lot of the technology that we're going to use in this project based on signal processing for technology. We are investing a lot of R&D as an R&D company. We have very good track record in contracts. We until the last 10 years we have been involved in projects of around 70 million euros, 7.5 of which came to our company. The first time that we are involved in such a project, so that tomorrow we will learn more. We see this collaboration, this project, as a start of new collaboration partnerships with very competent partners of these projects for bringing all this technology to the lab. Business sectors. We're fortunate that Singapore is needed in many business sectors. We have contracts for medical electronics, for communications, Internet of Things, and even financial processing, financial system processing, which is a new area. What you can see here, you can see some pictures of our labs, some pictures of various products that we have developed. Some of our work, you can see various, we have our infrastructure and we have capabilities of developing hardware. So we are designing and developing in-house PCBs, very complicated PCBs based on FPGAs, on embedded processors. We're also developing all the software, the embedded software on these applications, and we're going up to the level of development of other applications that can communicate with hardware. Here you can see various boards developed for communication industry. Medical, we have a lot of projects with medical applications. We're probably very big companies for developing wearables and handhelds electronics. Security is one of the main areas that we're working. We're working mainly for the military and defense clients who have a European patent on encryption. And this patent is embedded in some of our products, our commercial products. You can see there some crypto devices. You can see some applications for Androids for encrypting messages. And also, we've been working a lot on automatic video stitching, segmentation, and also on border control. We have developed systems for border control systems. Also, here I can say that we have a lot of applications related to biometrics. And smart sensors, because in ocean technologies, we're starting from scratch, from hardware, but also we're developing systems. You can see many systems that developed by us, which use sensor platforms for many applications. Transporting students. One of the main problems that we have is to find competent employees, young people, to work. Not many people want to work for R&D, or they don't understand what R&D is. But in order for somebody to come to our company, in order to be productive, it's around 1.5 years of in-house training. So we have developed for more than 8 years now various schemes in order to attract the best possible students. We started the Single Generation Award for 8 consecutive 9 this year at the University of Cyprus for awarding to the best graduate student, and from last year with and I hope to continue that. We are regularly jointly supervising our final year thesis of Cypriot students paid from Cypriot universities or for abroad, that they come to Cyprus and work for us for their thesis. We have every year summer internships, and we had some very good students from CUT doing the PhD supervision, and also which we all want to lead to employment. So this is how we are doing that. Why we develop in-house necessary procedures and infrastructure, so as we are very confident in that we can have people, stakeholders, and the company, and we have the mechanism to support them, mentor them, and help them throughout their work. Specifically for CUT, that we have very good collaboration. I said that we have the award, but also the interviews. Unfortunately, we cannot not host students, but maybe we can have some of our organizers. Our role in ENCASE, of course, it will be defined or analyzed tomorrow and later today. But we are here in order to transmit knowledge to people that will come and be hosted our signatures, but also to gain knowledge through our people. Here is a table of the stakeholders. We will discuss more probably tomorrow, and this is our contribution. We are happy to be involved in this project, and wish you all good luck. Thank you very much.
From the organization side. First, I'd like to also thank the university for the invitation to this project. Our company actually is focused on providing services in digital innovation, and I've been involved in R&D for the last 3 years in 9 different projects, and we will work in the national and other projects from the industry. One project is currently 4 projects, and one is a private project. Our vision is to provide innovation services, developing and processing products for the international market. And our vision is to become leaders in the innovation in this area. And our values focus on nurturing innovation through rethinking the spirit. We have been awarded for 2015-16 the Innovation Award by the European Business Award, and for 2014 we have been ranked as the first European designer for the Excellence project. have a team of 18 people. We have 4 divisions at the moment. The first division that would be involved also in ENCASE project is the IT software solutions. The list will be together with us tomorrow. He's abroad, he's trying to take him abroad for another meeting. The division actually has a broad perspective as far as the IT software. So we're actually focused on various areas like web interfaces, big data analytics, contextual data analysis, Internet of Things, specialized on public cloud implementations, and other information that we can discuss in the next couple of days. Another division that will be involved also in the case part of electronic communication. Main areas of focus is mechatronics, embedded systems, IoT, integration of electronics devices and sensors, design and analysis of mobile and wireless networks, and Dr. Andonis will be one of the experienced researchers involved in the project. Also, design and process division, we mostly focus on the product design and development. Applications, control processing, asset processing, and also the usual presentation of the services, as well as the use of OS and access, as well as the cost of access, and the use of we currently have access to labs within our area outside Nicosia, but we are building also our own infrastructure currently, which is going to be in the industrial area, and will be ready in 2015 with 2,000 square meters that will involve actually the R&D departments, the product testing center, and also hosting of the staff. As far as our R&D department, you would like to continue.
Hello from me as well. I'm Andonis, the electronics and department. So just to briefly mention a couple of the projects we are running at the moment. So these are for ongoing projects. Globot and EQGAB are 2 Horizon projects that we are working on. Globot we're actually coordinating. And also Glass and Variables are 2 large-scale FP7 projects. We're also participating as an R&D partner. So just to very briefly highlight a different details of Globot in a while. The EQGAB is mostly around energy management system and built-in automation, putting everything together in a new software platform. Glass, on the other hand, is on the energy type of projects where there's a new type of glass facade, which is energy efficient through circulation of liquid in the glass facade. And Variables is another FP7 ongoing project. It's about building a marine a sort of a box where all the sensors and are integrated to monitor the environmental conditions out in the open sea. And here you can see 4 more projects. The first 2 have been very recently completed. This 27 projects on the top, Ramco and Waishu. They have been completed recently, and we were coordinating both projects, but also contracted for R&D services. And both of these projects have resulted in some novel innovative technologies which have been submitted for projects. You can also see two projects on the lower end. The project environment management system. It's a national project. It's a fully commercial project, which is the Department of Software Services is leading. And the list will be here tomorrow from that department, which is the main department involved in this project. So this is let's say, example of the project portfolio we're on the type of applications we're working on. So mostly engineering and ICT applications in new products. So one example is the Flowbot. As I said, it's a Horizon ICT robotics project we are coordinating, but also technically involved. And probably maybe the most relevant to ENCASE at this point, since it also involves image recognition of live streaming, where it's an autonomous washing machine, which you may find it in malls and airports. So it's a driverless washing machine, one of the big ones you see in the malls. And the concept is that this becomes fully autonomous. It has to process the live streams of information in order to detect obstacles, avoid people, and generally operate in a safe way out of the open. So that's let's say the approach of the project. And let me briefly discuss about the ENCASE. So this is a big picture you have all seen in the proposal. And SARIC is involved in collaboration with the three academic institutions. So we will have a mutual exchange of staff and experience, and we are very eager to learn a lot out of this project. So we will be exchanging staff with the university in Thessaloniki and Roma University, and also one exchange with UCL. You can also see here the number and the type of missions we are we will have, the outgoing and the incoming missions. So I'll just briefly say that we are very excited to be in this project, and it's a very promising project and a very hot topic that we are very keen to join these top institutions, and we are really hopeful to have something that will be applied. So as a company, we want to see this coming out as a product. So apart from the applications, which are very welcome, we may as well see any patents or any IP that can be protected, and also something that people can use and actually protect minors. So thank you very much, and looking forward to working with you.
Thank you, Panicos and Adonis. I guess we can have either Tito or Sotelio. Who prefers to go first? Sotelio. Please send your email again. Jeremy, are you going now?
Hi again. I'm Jeremy from Telefonica Research, and here's our partner description. So TID is the innovation company of the Telefonica Group. It was founded in 1988. It's not just research, so we have product development and a lot of other things. Now within TID we have the research lab, the research group, and it's the largest private R&D center in Spain. We have about 18 to 20 researchers in Barcelona and 1 in Madrid. In addition to researchers, right now we have 4 PhD students that we supervise, and we're also always taking on master's students and interns as well. In general, we're tasked with advancing the state-of-the-art across a wide variety of technologies that are going to benefit Telefonica. So not only do we publish papers and have academic results, but we also produce IP, and we also come up with new products for the company. And so we're supposed to be advancing, making Telefonica a digital company and bringing us into the modern world. This is our building in Barcelona. It's, I guess, kind of an iconic building. It looks pretty cool. There's lots of tourists that come take pictures of it. Several people will be seconded here. So that's what it looks like. Right on the beach. It's pretty cool.
It's actually fun.
Yeah, it's a really weird shape. It's like a diamond. It's right on the corner of 2 diagonal rows that meet. But yeah, it's got cool geometric shapes. Apparently, the guys at Google had a very hard time modeling this for the Google Maps Street View 3D stuff, I've been told. So anyways, we have a variety of research activities that we do at TID. From a high level, we have 3 different areas that we focus on. So networking and systems, and this is stuff like protocols, performance measurements, etc. Then we have HDI. We tend to focus on understanding mobile device usage patterns, things like that. And also we have people who do machine learning, so recommendation systems, deep learning, etc. We publish in top venues, so we target things like SIGCOMM, WWW, CHI, NIPS, KDB, etc. And last year, I think we had something like 8 or 10 papers at these very top venues. It was a good time. So there's going to be 4 other researchers from TID involved in ENCASE. The first one is Nicholas Leoteris, and he's a senior researcher. He's worked lately on price discrimination, privacy and person identifiable information, and network economics. There's me. I'm an associate researcher, and I work in social network analysis, distributed systems, privacy, and person identifiable information as well. It's Ilias Leontiadis. I butchered that, sorry guys. He's a researcher. He works in mobile systems, focused on pervasive computing, wireless and sensor networks, and as well looking at privacy and personally identifiable information. Finally, there's Nicholas Cortelis, who's actually a Cypriot. He's an associate researcher as well, and he works on social systems, streaming graph analysis, and user characterization. So our contributions to this project will be working on the requirements and architecture, as well as work package 4, which is user profiling, detection, and prediction of malicious online behavior. Work package 5, fake activity detection and suppression, as well as the pilots and validation. And when it comes to exploitation dissemination, we're going to be involved in feasibility studies, business model, market opportunities, and exploitation plans. So here we're going to take advantage of TID as an organization the size of research group. We have lots of business people, lots of market analysis, that kind of thing. And also, since we're a global company, we have sub-companies, I guess you could say, all over the world, especially in South America and Latin America. And we'll be able to see what, how the different markets will be accepting the stuff that we come up with in ENCASE and that kind of thing. Okay, that's all I have. So thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Skłodowska-Curie, and I'm a recent PhD student at Skłodowska-Curie. Under the supervision of AMarie, it would make to be here today to the test, so I briefly present the group presentation. Our group is under the University of University, which is the largest university in Greece. It comprises of more than 2,000 research faculty members and more than 1,000 employees, providing either administrative or technical services. And it has a long history in education and research, dollars and ethics and fields, with more than 12 faculties and 45 departments. The informatics department, where my group belongs to, was evaluated as an excellent partner, one of the best in the country. Also, the successful implementation for my group focuses on topics in the areas of web data mining, social network analytics, performance data analytics, economic behavior of the web, and smart cities and IoT data integration and summarization. More specifically, our expertise in social media use and the summarization and analytics, with my focus on sentiment and emotional analysis, effective analysis, topics and trends and head detection methodology, and the fraud detection, the analyzing content produced in online social network sources. And moreover, we deal with bottom-up data analytics on various datasets for community detection, evolving community detection, data mining, and machine learning approaches. Also, we have developed a cloud-based evolving data stream management framework in order to be able to capture in time popular events and trending topics. Finally, we have developed many applications and methodologies and web and mobile applications, both, in order to provide services within a smart city context. We have participated in many projects. For instance, lately we have participated in the vital project where the objective was to capture human emotions out of analyzing online and offline conversations. We have also participated in the Cloud for Trends project where the final outcome was the development of a cloud-based framework that I have in the previous slide. We have used sensor data and textual data from online social media sources in order to provide services to smart cities with the Central Shock project, which was facilitating the Spain, other cities of Spain. And finally, we have worked in graph studies, analyzing social networks, etc. The main leader of the group is ENCASE, who is professor at the Department of Informatics in the University of Thessaloniki, and she is leading the Auschwitz research group. She current research interests includes the web data mining, social network classing and analytics, evolving data patterns and semantic segment analysis. Me, Desna Kazaku, who I am a PhD student, as I already said. My expertise includes web data mining, with a particular interest in data streams and social data network analysis, NLP and text mining, measurement and effective analysis, and modeling methods for graph and network data. Also, we have 20 state PhD students, Wagner Staka and Domia Bogoglou, and finally, we are collaborating closely with the IT department of Skłodowska-Curie University of Thessaloniki, where the leader is Enhancing. Finally, we participate in many work packages throughout the 4 years of the project. We will be many of the work package 4, where the objective is the user profiling for detection prediction of malicious online behavior. We will develop methodology settings and effective analysis methodology. We will do user profiling in order to detect and prevent malicious and criminal activities, and the detection of time-dependent patterns that indicate of abnormal behaviors. Thank you.
I think we're done. Right? Oh. Last but not least.
Yes. I sent you a slide.
Yeah, no problem.
Always in this section. All.
We have a long answer.
All right. So it's just me between you and lunch, I think. So I'll try to be brief. All right. I'm Gianluca Fenghini. I'm an assistant professor in computer science at University College London. And well, I'm going to present you our team and what we're going to do in this project. But first, well, let's talk about the department. Generally speaking, it's the largest department in the UK, the largest computer science department in the UK. So we have more than 80 faculty members. I don't know all of them, so it's a lot of people doing all sorts of things. And broadly speaking, we are the department with the largest funding from the ESRC, which is the main funding agency in the UK. And we were ranked first in the 2015 REF, which is the assessment that the government makes basically every 5 years, which is evaluating research in the UK. From the computer security point of view, we have a very large information security group, so we are 9 faculty working on security in all aspects, from theoretical cryptography to usable security, passing through system security and so on. And I will present you some of these people as I go. In ENCASE, we have quite a substantial involvement. We have 72 people months spread through a number of work packages. But mostly we're leading the work package 5, which is the work package dealing with the detection and suppression of fake activity on online social networks, where fake activity can be, basically misrepresentation of people, so people pretending to be someone else, can be boosted popularity and so on. I will discuss this in detail tomorrow. But this is the general idea. We're also involved in a work package 4, which is the user profiling of the platform. malicious behavior, as well as we have an involvement in the early stages work package 2, which is the requirement definition and so on. So who are we? We have 2 faculty members on this project, myself and Emiliano Cristofaro. So Emiliano Cristofaro is an associate professor at UCL, and his main expertise is in applied cryptography and privacy enhancing technologies, but he has done work in human aspects of security too, and in web security measurement. And in particular, he studied recently, he had a paper at INC on studying markets that are selling fake likes on Facebook. And this is directly related to this problem. You can think that social networks are based on the idea of trust, and if people can gain this trust by basically buying fake likes that don't really have a relation with web sharing interesting content and so on, this is a problem. And then there is myself. My expertise is mostly on network security and system security, but I've done a lot of work on social network security, in particular on detecting spam accounts, fake accounts, compromised accounts, and so on, as well as, well, I'm actually submitting a paper to User Security today on how we can detect spam based on the way in which messages are spreading on a social network, which is once again directly related to work package 5 in ENCASE, as I will discuss more in detail tomorrow. But as I said, we have a very large security group, so we have many other relevant people that, those of you who will come in second to UCL will have a chance to interact with. In particular, we have Angelo Sasse, who is a world expert in usable security, and whichever technology we're going to develop in this project will have to be usable, and we need to take into account the users first, and so her expertise will come at hand for sure. We have George Vanezis, who is an expert in anonymity and privacy, Stephen Murdoch as well. He does system security with a focus on privacy as well. We have Mirko Musolesi, who's an expert in the business computing data science, once again, measurement and applied machine learning to computer security. Sarah Michael-John, who's studying cryptocurrencies, and Richard Worth, who's actually not in the computer science department, he's in the crime science department, but he's worked for many, many years studying child abuse and what we can do about it. And this is once again related to this project. And then we have a number of researchers who actually will go on secondments in this project. So we have Tristan, whose research is mostly on modeling, developing models based on economic and theoretic theories to improve security decision making. And Panagiotis, who has a broad expertise on system security and computer forensics with implications of cybercrime and so on. And then we have a number of PhD students. So Lucky is working on social network security, so he's working on the fake like projects that I was mentioning before. So his involvement is important in this project. And Jeremiah is actually working on studying malicious activity from a broad angle. So he's been studying extortion messages, like sort of people asking for ransoms to basically avoid them from disclosing some personal information and things like that, and other types of other criminal activities which would be related to what we're planning to do here. And then last but not least, there is Enrico, who's mostly working on malware, but has also done some work on social network security, and in particular ways in which malicious users are basically trying to game the reputation and popularity of accounts to basically look more reputable than they actually are. So yeah, I think that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. This is it. So now we have a lunch break right outside, and then we will move to another room, a smaller room, for the continue with the work of the closed session. Thank you all for coming, especially our guests. Thank you so much. Empecé a notar todo, me estoy